All right, so let's try to get a little something done here today. So again, this is quadratic formula or quadratic functions in standard form. It's this guy here. Standard form is this guy up here. We have ax squared plus bx plus c. A is a number in front of the x squared. B is a number in front of the x. And c is just a regular number with no variable. Okay. C is also the y-intercept. And this is true of any, excuse me, of any function. Doesn't matter what kind of function, doesn't matter how big or anything else. If there's just a plain number in the function, that is your y-intercept. Any kind of function, not just quadratics. So that's probably a good little piece of knowledge to kind of tuck in your back pocket there. All right. So then we talked about the y-intercept. We talked about the axis of symmetry. And that's this little formula here. Minus b over 2a, kind of a big deal. This one shows up a lot. Okay. So this gives you the axis of symmetry, which is the line that divides the parabola into two mirror images. So there's your axis. Okay. And it also goes through the lowest or the highest point in the parabola, which is known as a vertex. Okay. So the x equals minus b over 2a is kind of a 2-for-1 special in that not only does it tell us the axis of symmetry, which is x equals whatever number we come up with there, but it also gives you the first point in the vertex. Okay. So in addition to being the axis of symmetry, it's the first point in the vertex. And then the way we figure out the second point in the vertex is whatever number we came up with for x here, we plug in that value for x here and here, do a little evaluation, and that solves for y, which is this guy right here. Okay. So that's pretty much the whole thing. Summed up in about 3 minutes. All right, so we did quite a few problems last time, and we will finish up the problems probably today. Well, maybe not since we got a late start, but we'll try. All right, so let's see what's going on here. So here's where we left off. So it says, compare each function shown with the graph below. And then it says, which function has a greater maximum value? Okay, so here we go. So maximum value on this guy's right there. Now we're talking maximum value, we're talking about the y value. Okay? So in this one, what's our y value? What's the highest point that y gets on this thing? So there's 1, 2, 3. So we're not talking about where it crosses. Yeah, we're talking about 4, right? Good, Gianna. So then y equals 4. And I think maybe, Chloe, you were thinking about where it intercepts here, which is 3. You're right about that. Okay. So then what we're looking for on these guys is then we want to find for 31 and 32, we want to find the vertex of each of these guys. So we'll start with 31. So vertex is going to be our little formula again, minus b over 2a. Okay. So again, think of it this way. We switch the sign on this guy, so he becomes a positive 4. And then this guy here, the negative 2, we're going to double him up. So we got minus 2, and then we're going to double him up, so we'll multiply him by 2. Okay, so that will give us positive 4 over negative 4. So that's minus 1. Okay, so to figure out the vertex of this guy, we have to plug in a negative 1 into our function. So I'm going to bring 31 up here since we have a little more room to work. All right, so remember g of x is the same as saying y. So y in this case is going to be minus 2. And then instead of x squared, we're going to have minus 1 squared. And we have minus 4 times minus 1. And then a plus 3. All right, so we start with the exponent. Negative 1 times negative 1 is positive 1. Positive 1 times negative 2 is minus 2. So that's our first guy. So our next one is minus 4 times minus 1. That's going to be positive 4. And then the positive 3. So we add these guys together. And we get 7. We get 4 plus 3 is 7. Minus 2 is 5. So the vertex for this guy is going to be at negative 1, 5. But the y value is the important one in this case. So it's 5. And this guy here was 4. So that means that in this case, this guy has the greater maximum value. So this guy wins for that one. All right, so we do 32. And 32's got some decimals in it. That's kind of a pain, but we'll manage. All right. So let's go ahead and change colors. All right. So this guy, same thing. You're going to take this guy, switch the sign. So it's going to be positive 4/5. And then this guy is going to be doubled up. So it's 2 times negative 1.5. All right, so we do that. So we're going to have 4.5. And then 2 times negative 1.5 is going to be minus 3. So this guy is really negative 1.5. And we'll use decimals for this one. That's okay. All right, so again, we want to figure out what the y value is. That's really the key to these things. All right, so this would be 32 up here. All right, so our y value this time is going to be minus 1.5. We might need a calculator for this one. And then times negative 1.5 squared, because that's this guy right here. And then we have minus 4.5. And then again times negative 1.5. And then finally plus 1. Yeah, so I definitely think we need our calculator for this guy. Let's bring him into the scene. Incoming. There we go. Cleared out from last time's fun. We were having some serious fun in Algebra 2 yesterday. As you can see, we calculated things of like 10 million. All right, so let's clear it out. All right, so first thing, the negative 1.5 when you square is going to be positive, so you can just do 1.5 squared. That's 2.25. Then we're going to take that times 1.5. So 3.375, and he's going to be negative. So minus 3.375. All right, the next thing, we got a minus and a minus. So that's going to be positive. So again, we'll just multiply those guys together. So we got 4.5 times 1.5. So that's 6.75. So plus 6.75 plus 1. So we'll see what these guys equal. All right, so again, 6.75. Whoops, I didn't want that. All right, clear it out. So let's add the positives together first. We have 6.75 plus 1 equals 7.75. Then we subtract off 3.375. So 4.375. Which is bigger than 4. So this guy also is bigger than the graph. Okay. So if we put these guys on Desmos, if I went ahead and put this guy and this guy on Desmos, they would have a higher y value than the graph they gave us. Okay? All right. We'll go ahead and check out a couple more. All right, this says write each equation in standard form. Now, if you remember, our last topic was vertex form. And that's what we've got going on here. This is vertex form. Now they want us to turn it back to standard form. So really all they're asking us to do is multiply these guys out. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. So here, let's go ahead and start once again with our exponent. That's this guy. So x plus 1 squared is really x plus 1 times x plus 1. All right, so we go ahead and do our FOIL stuff. So x times x is x squared. X times 1 is x. Go move down this guy. 1 times x is also x. And 1 times 1 is 1. Combine these two guys here. So we're going to have x squared plus 2x plus 1. So that's the stuff right here. So now we need to multiply that by the 4. So we bring him into the mix, right? So then we go ahead and do that. So we're going to have 4x squared, and then we're going to have plus 8x, and then finally we're going to have plus 4. Okay, so that takes care of all of this. So we still have this guy to deal with. So we just bring him down here. So we're just going to combine 4 minus 3, so that's just going to be 1. So our final answer here is going to be 4x squared plus 8x plus 1. Okay? See how that works? So it's just a bunch of number crunching, really. But we only had a couple minutes left last time, and I was looking at these problems going, nah, we don't have enough time to get these done. But we're good today. All right, so 34 is pretty much second verse, same as the first. So let's go ahead and get a different color here. So we can see what the heck's going on. All right. So this guy, same deal. Start with him. Now remember the hack for this. If I use the hack over here, you square the x, you get x squared. You square the 1, you get 1. If you do 1 times x, that's x, and then you double it up. So you can do that, or you can FOIL, whichever you're comfortable with. So that's why I did the FOIL for that one. This one I'm going to go ahead and do the hack. So I say, all right, I've got x times x, so that's x squared. Negative 2 times negative 2 is a positive 4. And then if you do minus 2 times x, that's minus 2x, double it up, that's minus 4x. So again, if you FOILed that out like we did here, you'll get the same answer. Okay? So we did that. So now we have to multiply by the guy out front. So that's the 0.1. So that's going to give us 0.1x. And 0.1 times 4 is going to be minus 0.4x. This is x squared, by the way. And then finally, this guy's going to give us plus 0.4. Then the only thing we have to contend with now is this guy. So we bring him down, we got 0.1. So 0.4 minus 0.1 gives us 0.3. So that'll wrap it up. So we have 0.1x squared. Yeah, we had some problems actually before you got here, Taylor. We were having all kinds of problems. People couldn't hear me, and I had to log back out and log back in. So yeah, we feel your pain, but we're glad you made it. All right, so 0.4 4x, and then finally just plus 0.3. So that's your boy. Okay. So this is converting from vertex form to standard form. Yeah, just some number crunching. That's pretty much all it is. Let's go and check out a couple more. Okay, so this is once again the same stuff. So let's go ahead and use our hack again for this one. So if you look at this guy, you square him, square the x squared, square the negative 9. Remember, this guy will always be positive. So 9 times 9 is 81. Well, actually, negative 9 times negative 9 is 81. You like the first way? Okay, I'll do the next one like that. And then we do negative 9 times x. So it's going to be minus 9x, and we double that up, so it's going to be minus 18x. Okay, so now we've got that. Then we go ahead and multiply by the negative 2. That gives me minus 2x squared. This gives me a plus 36x. And this gives me a negative 162. Trust me on that, I've done it too often. So then the last thing is we just need to add the 15. Right, so we just bring him down. We have to put these two guys together, so all this stays the same. Minus 2x squared plus 36x. And then we have minus 162 plus 15, so it'll be 5247 minus 147. And again, use your calculator, please. All right, cool. Okay, so by request, Chloe said she likes the FOIL method better. That's fine. So we'll do another one like that. All right, so what we can do here is we'll write this guy out. Ooh, this one's thick. So x plus 3 and x plus 3. Okay. So then we go ahead. Thin this line out a little bit. There we go. So we do x times x, that's going to be x squared. And we do x times 3, so it's plus 3x. Then we go to here. 3 times x is going to be plus 3x again. And 3 times 3 is 9. Put these two guys together. So we get x squared plus 6x plus 9. Cool. All right, so for this one, the only difference here is the negative sign, right? So that means you just switch all the signs on these guys. So that's easy. So we'll make him negative. And the next one, we'll make, they're all going to be negatives, right? Yeah. So they'll all be negatives. Hang on. So let's go ahead and do that. So then this guy won't erase. Hang on. Try it again. No. Why is this not working? Ugh. Might be Wednesday, but it feels like Monday. There we go. So we're just going to change the signs on those two guys. So to a minus and to a minus. And then finally we have plus 8. I know it's Wednesday, but it feels like Monday. So we go minus x squared. We're all very glad it's not Monday, by the way. Minus 6x. And then minus 9 plus 8 is just minus 1. So that's our guy. Okay. Questions? Okay. All right. So here's one of those standardized test kind of things. It says an object is launched at 64 feet per second from an elevated platform. It says the quadratic function shown in the table models its trajectory over time x. Select all true statements. The height of the platform is 6 feet. So how would we know that? So they tell us that we get from an elevated platform. So I guess what they're saying, at time equals 0, we haven't launched this object yet. So yeah, the guy's standing on a platform that's 6 feet tall. Check. So the object reaches its maximum height after 2 seconds. So here's 2 seconds, and it's 70 feet off the ground. So as far as we know, yeah, according to this chart, it reaches its maximum height after 2 seconds. Check. So it says the maximum height of the object is 70 feet. Check. It says the object will be lower than 40 feet at 3 seconds. Yeah, because it's only at 6 feet. No, well, we don't know. Can't say. Because we don't have, number one, we don't have 3 seconds on here. It could be, but we don't know for sure. We're thinking probably that if this guy, because these are symmetric, right? If this guy's 54, and we skip 3 for some reason, 3 is 1 in this direction, and then 1 is 1 in that direction, right? So 3 is probably 54. So based on that, it's going to be lower than 40 feet? Nope. And then the last one says the height of the object increases and then decreases. Yeah, because here it's like we're at 6 feet, 54 feet, 70 feet, back to 6 feet, right? So it increases first and then decreases. So just about everything worked on this one. Interesting. Questions on that? All right, last one. So it says, what is the maximum height for this equation? All right, so maximum height means we just need to find the y value of the vertex. This is pretty much what we've been doing all along, right? So we start with our x equals minus b over 2a, right? So here's b, so it's going to be negative 16. And then over 2 times a is minus 4. So we double up that. So I'm going to get minus 16 over minus 8. The minuses cancel. 16 divided by 8 is 2. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to plug in 2 every place we see x. So we'll plug a 2 in here and a 2 in here. And that'll tell us what our maximum value is. So y equals, so we're going to do minus 4, and then x squared, so that's going to be 2 squared, plus 16 times 2, and then plus 12. All right, so let's see where this takes us. All right, so we square this guy first. Hopefully have something that writes. That would be good. So we square this guy first. 2 times 2 is 4. Times a negative 4, this is going to be minus 16. Then we got 16 times 2, that's going to be 32, and then plus 12. All right. So we add these guys together. Clear it out. So I got a positive 32 and a positive 12. Add those two guys together and then subtract off 16. Okay. Questions? All right. Well, I thank you ladies for showing up today. Make sure I got attendance, so make sure I get Taylor on the list here. One moment, please. All right, so we'll start a new topic next time. And I appreciate your patience with all the technical fun. So go ahead and shut down the recording. Well, thank you, ladies, for showing up again, and hopefully we'll see you tomorrow. Yeah, it's Friday already.